Hey everybody, Ron here. Today I'm going to do a flip through of The One Ring, Tales from the Lone Lands, a series of adventures basically for The One Ring second edition. Um, I am about to start some sort of a campaign for The One Ring with my play group of three people, and I'm really excited about this. So let's take a look, shall we? We got a map of Eriador. The lead writer, Gareth Hanrahan. If I haven't said it before, I say it again. I have to talk to this guy. I got to bring him on my podcast someday. This guy's all over the place with some of my favorite works. The editors, Nepatello and some other folks, Tomas Hironstam, et cetera, et cetera. You got the table of contents. Introduction. The quest has failed, Sam. Even if we get out of here, we can't escape. Only elves can escape. Away, away, out of Middle-earth, far away over the sea, if even that is wide enough to keep the shadow out. No, not everything, Mr. Frodo. And it hasn't failed, not yet. Tales from the Lone Lands contains 6 adventures set in the Lone Lands of northwestern Middle-earth. This volume is intended for lore masters who can weave the material presented among these pages into their current campaigns. Players should refrain from reading to avoid spoiling the experience, blah, blah, blah. And we got a little overview, heroic lineage. So the adventures can potentially center around a particular player character with a heroic lineage. So that's interesting. It gives some advice about handling that. And I like this subtitle, A Fellowship, Not a Backup Crew. The Lore Master should avoid centering the whole campaign around the heir. The real tale is how the company explores the Lone Lands, discovers the creeping influence of the enemy, and eventually defeats the malign Hill of Fear, depriving Sauron of a weapon he might otherwise turn against the free people of Middle-earth, and so on and so forth. And they give some example ancestors. It's a little art. Chapter 1, A Troll Hole, if ever there was one. I've gotten this far in the book as far as my prep is concerned. So not very far. So this is a pretty much fresh flip through for me. Some maps. Always like the art. Once again, they went a different direction with the art in One Ring second edition as opposed to first edition. Of course, first edition was published by Cubicle 7, so different company. I like that. Art of Orothel, probably. Chapter 2, Messing About in Boats. A dragon head? Let's see here. Not sure. It looks pretty interesting, though. Nice art. Elves taking in hobbits here. All right. Well, apparently you're going on a voyage here. You treat the voyage events like journey events. Got a map here of the Haunted Isle. A couple of stat blocks here. All right, how about that? That's nice little art. Chapter 3, Kings of Little Kingdoms. That's Haunted Land, they say. None but a robber would go there. I like this bit. Assuming the player's heroes have not offended him, Pharaoh grudgingly suggests that they can stay the night. Not as guests, mind you. I like that. Assuming the players have not offended him. Because you know how players can be. Part 4 of the Ruined Tower. Guess we have a map here. All right, there we go. Our little map. And you see the maps are pretty simple and they just kind of describe areas and everything like that. We're not gridded out because the one-wing combat is not, like a grid-based combat, whatnot. So, Osric, the wizard. Of course, he's a charlatan. That's great. That's some great art. Not to strike without need. Chapter 4. So, I'm probably going to have a ranger amongst my 3 characters because one of the guys in my previous short-lived campaign played a ranger and he likes it, and that seems to be about the only thing that he hangs on to. And then his wife, my other player, she loves the elves, so she'll probably play an elf. And the third player who will play something that will probably get on my nerves. The story of Orothel. Angrily, Orothel tells her story and explains her involvement with Jon. She is a ranger, protector of travelers in the wild, and keeps watching for things in shadow, blah, blah, blah. Interesting stuff. They assume Tharbad is a rotten, soggy town A generation ago, floods washed out the heart of Tharbad, and what's left shambles on, decaying ever faster now. So in the official Tolkien lore, Tharbad is an abandoned town, but here, in the game, they make it like mostly abandoned, but there's a sparse population, so they're kind of bending the rules. But it is a game, so like I'm totally cool with that. Don't want to be hidebound to canon when it comes to RPGs, because we're not in here to replay the stories. We're here to play our own stories, but at the same time, not get in the way of the core story. At least that's my opinion. That's my approach. Nice little map. I should reuse these maps for fantasy games that are not the One Ring, and then just kind of improvise, because I use the zone type combat UDT that Professor Dungeon Master uses. So like I wouldn't really need a grid or what have you. Oh, that's ominous. Chapter 5, Wonder of the Northern World. Floki. Okay, eager and proud. Okay, I thought they might, take his name and kind of make him a mischievous type. Anyway, a nice little big block of text on the spies of Sauron. I'm gonna hunt some orc here. Castle under the mountains. Nice art. Pretty cool. Dwarven Sage. Once again, discussions about female dwarves and the hair, the beards and everything like that. And this art leads into the really long sideburn interpretation of beards, which is cool. Although it looks like she has is that a mustache, or is that just kind of like veins or something? It's kind of hard to say. Chapter 6, The Quest of Amon Guruthos. Amon Guruthos. Once again, I know that I'm not talking a whole lot in some places, but I'm just scanning, checking it out. Is that the warm white? This probably is the warm white. Crazy. Attribute level 10, hate 10, might 3. I don't think the injury rating is 204. It's probably either 20 or 24. I would wager to bet the injury rating is 20. So there's a typo there. And at the same time, I don't. 12 seems like a really low injury rating for a tail. So I'm gonna have to go dig into my files and drive through and see if there's an update to this. We get the index, got the color map with some codes and back cover, and that is it. Well, I'm looking forward to running this. Will I finish it? Who knows? But I'm certainly going to attempt to get through this. I'm gonna dig into it some more and just really get things started. Hopefully, get my players to make their characters beforehand, so I can absorb that a little bit before we jump in. My birthday is in a few weeks, and so there's a game store's birthday party that I want to kick off the event with as part of me celebrating my birthday a little bit early. So we'll see. I hope you folks enjoy this flip through, and until next time, see you later.